G'day everybody, welcome back to the Bothy. A little while ago we did our first federal election video and we talked about promises and the campaign to date, and a fair bit's happened since, so we thought we'd do another quick update on 4 of the parties and let you know what promises they've made this week.
Yeah, so who are we starting with?
We'll start with my favourite party, the Greens.
Oh,
The Greens, led by Adam Bandt. I did some research this week after being tipped off by one of our watchers that I didn't know his name, which is exactly right, I didn't. But I did do some research and his name is Adam Bandt. I did that for you, Michael, so thank you very much for your comment, mate. Much appreciated. The Greens are going to raise $514 billion by taxing big business or big corporations 40%.
On top of what they already pay?
On top of any profit they might have, or any tax they've already paid.
Well, chase away the business that we do have in Australia.
Yeah, take it overseas. The issue that worries me in all of that is they deem anything over $100 million as big business, and $100 million really isn't big business. It's a medium-sized business, I'd have called it. So that's not just a couple of businesses. Yeah. That's a lot of businesses in Australia. They're going to put a 10% tax on billionaires. I think there's only 150 billionaires in Australia, but still.
Really? Is that all? Yeah. Well, how's that going to raise all that money?
I don't know.
And look, billionaires have got the best accountants in the world. They're not going to end up paying anything.
No, most of those monies will go overseas.
Yeah, of course it will.
And in return for that, free education, Medicare to include dentists, and 50-cent public transport fares.
Everywhere.
I don't understand that because public transport is run by the state. So how are they going to mandate that? In Queensland, it's already 50 cents. When we were up there earlier this year, we were jumping on buses for 50 cents, whatever we want. Absolutely brilliant. But you can't make money out of it.
No.
So
why don't they just make it $1?
Exactly. Why don't they just make it $2, really? I mean, anyway, all good in theory, those things. But as I've made the point a number of times, anybody who votes for the Greens, you might as well have voted for the Australian Communist Party, in my opinion. However, we did make mention of the trumpets of something last video.
I do like what they say.
So we've gone away and done a little bit of research on the Trumpets of Patriots. This is going to excite you, mate. I'm going to go through their promises, their election promises. Doge.
Yep.
Yeah, thought you'd like that. Cap interest rates at 3% and allow you to access 30% of your super for a deposit.
That sounds good to it.
Cut immigration.
Yep.
Over 1 million people have come into this country in the last 3 years as immigrants.
And how many houses have they built?
None.
Yeah, I've got friends that can't even find rentals.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, people living in their cars, tents.
Stuffed.
Yeah. They're going to restore coal and gas.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, we got the second biggest...
gas.
Yeah. And
production.
Coal's like second or third.
Could be, yeah. If we ever tapped into it again, which these guys won't get into power, but I like their promises.
You can't do that because of global warming, though.
They're going to protect freedom of speech and freedom of choice.
That's good.
We're big on that, let's be honest. They're going to make sure there's no social media bans.
Good.
And no central ID system.
Yep. Yeah. Sounds good.
Don't mind that either. They're going to exit the WHO, the UN, and the WEF.
Yeah. Why should these people have anything to do with our controlling us?
Yeah.
I mean, they're outside factors. They're not Australians. I mean, I'm an Australian. I don't sound like one, but I am.
You're sounding more and more Australian every day, mate.
Thank you.
My pleasure. To me, you're Australian. They are going to bring back manufacturing, particularly around minerals.
Yep.
That means we'll pay more for things because our wages are higher. They're going to pay down debt by introducing a 15% license on iron ore.
That's a good one.
That's an interesting one. At least they're talking about paying debt down.
Yeah.
Yep. And this one will really get you going because you've talked about this in previous shows. They're going to do a royal commission on COVID-19.
Thank God. But then Labour said exactly the same. And they had a piss-poor excuse for a bloody commission.
Labour also said that one of the big promises they made last election was they were going to bring, by 2025, they were going to bring electricity bills down by an average of $253 a year.
And what happened to that?
Well, that didn't happen. In fact, they've gone up considerably since Labor have been in power. They did blame, I was watching the debate last night, and they blamed two people or two parties for that increase. Liberal for unknown costs before they got into power.
Yep.
And Zelensky.
They played Zelensky.
Ukraine. The war. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Because we get all our electricity
Yeah.
from Ukraine.
Yeah. That's going to do it.
That's a ridiculous point of
Yeah.
view. So they've got some really, like we said last time, they might as well give us all $1 million. They're still not getting into power. They just don't have enough people
Yeah.
running. But it would be interesting.
Yeah, it would be.
The other thing they're really doing is telling everybody, put Labor and Liberal last on your tickets.
Yep.
Which
I'll
means,
certainly be doing that.
I can't put the Greens above either Labor or Liberal myself, but that's just me. So a couple of things. We went through extensively what Labor and Liberal were offering last week. There's been a couple of new things this week. I'll just touch off on those. Labor have now offered an automatic $1,000 tax deduction on expenses. So it was $300. You could claim $300 worth of whatever,
Yep.
printing, stationery, whatever, without receipts. Now it's $1,000. So that's going to be, if you claim that, which everyone will now do this year, claim the $1,000, that's going to be between $200 and $220 on average in your pocket for the year. Liberal have said they'll do $1,200, but only to lower and middle income earners that earn up to $104,000 a year.
104.
Yeah. Hardly even middle
No.
anymore, but anyway.
No.
$10 billion from Labor to build 100,000 new homes for first home buyers.
Yep.
And they'll must be guaranteeing in some way a 5% deposit without having to access insurance,
Oh, okay.
mortgage insurance.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So people will be able to own one.
Yeah. But then you can even put down payment on a house these days.
5% on
$1 million, which is the...
Well, let's say it's an $800,000 mortgage. It's $40,000.
It's a lot of money.
Well, then you still got to come up with your stamp duty.
Yeah.
It is a lot of money, but it's something. It's an offer.
It's something.
They'll also ban, this one really got me. I'm quite excited about this one. Ban non-competitive clauses or no-compete clauses. So for anyone earning less than $175,000. So when I retired in November, I was working for a firm that had given me a non-compete clause.
Yep. And
I did earn less than $175,000. So the non-compete clause is just if you leave. So my no-compete clause was that I wasn't allowed to go to a competitor within 100 kilometres of where I was working for 12 months.
I believe you've not done that.
I haven't. No, I'm quite happily doing nothing. What else have Liberal offered? They've offered an interesting one as well. All interest paid on mortgages up to a loan of $650,000 for first home buyers can be claimed back on tax for 5 years.
Ooh.
So that's going to be a $10,000 or $11,000 tax action. It's almost like negative gearing in a way, yeah. It's better, actually, than negative gearing. So that's an interesting one. Yeah. That'll put some people...
Labor wants to do that.
No, Liberal are doing that, and Labor have said they won't be matching it. That's only for first home owners.
Mm-hmm.
Both parties have said no foreign investors for 2 years, which I think is a good thing. Yeah, with 1 million people coming in, everybody's looking for a house to rent. Yeah. And they've also said they're going to introduce places for 400,000 apprenticeships in Australia, which is good because you and I both worked in that industry, and we both know how hard it is to get anything made.
Yeah, I know. You
can't build a house.
No.
You can't get trades.
No.
Can't get brickies, can't get plasterers, can't get painters, can't get chippies, can't get anything in Australia because that has shrunk considerably. So that's some more good promises during the week. Did you watch any of the debate last night?
I did not.
No. I did. Watched a bit of it. It was a bit more argy-bargy than the previous.
Mm-hmm. Called
Called each other a liar on a number of occasions.
Oh, that's good.
Dutton made his second apology because he accused Indonesian of accepting Russia's offer to have a base that obviously wasn't done. He's got to stop flying off the handle. Yeah.
I can see a bit of Latham in him.
Yeah, he's not as crazy as Latham. Yeah. Latham was angry. This guy just looks angry.
Yeah.
Peter Dutton, unfortunately for Peter Dutton, it's not his fault. He's got the worst smile in politics. It looks so fake. He's smiling at you, and his eyes say, I'm going to kill you. It's not a happy smile. He's got a sad smile. Like I said, it was a lot more intensity. And of course, they argued over that $250 discount on power. So it was deemed a tie last night.
What do you reckon?
I believe it was probably a tie.
Yeah.
They were both wearing very nice ties, actually, to be
Oh,
honest. They both
really?
looked sharp.
Not red and blue then?
No, not red and blue. Nice greeny colour for Dutton and a nice orangey red for Albanese. They both looked very sharp, actually. The most annoying thing about it for me was the ABC hosted it, and the host, well, he might as well have just, while he was doing it, filled in his green ticket.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because he kept coming back to...
Was he young?
No, he's one of their regulars.
Mm.
But he just kept going back to, why aren't you doing anything about negative gearing like the Greens are doing? Why aren't you doing anything about capital gains tax discounts like the Greens are doing? Why won't you, why don't you shut up and just let them debate, just ask questions? He tried to bring them back on track, but you know what it's like. Dutton said something, Albanese wants to respond. They weren't given opportunities to respond, so he would then get asked a question. Albanese would then get asked a question. He'd try and respond, and this guy was saying, yeah, but answer my question, and he just made himself look stupid, in my opinion. So, yeah, there's 2 more to go, 2 more debates. I think from where it sits with just on 2 weeks to go,
Labour have got it.
It looks to me like Labour are going to get back into power with a majority.
Well, I don't like either, I'll be honest with you.
No. I know who you're voting for. The Patriot Party.
the Trumpets of Patriots.
Trumpets of Patriots. I still don't really know what that means.
Well, unless Pauline Hanson's still got.
We'll do another one next week. We'll go through her offer.
Yeah.
And for Michael, we'll bag the Greens out a bit more too. That's my favourite pastime.
Well, I mean, the Greens got in Germany, and that never went down too well, did it?
No. And went out quickly.
It went really bad. Really quick.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that's pretty much what will happen if they get in here.
If they get in here, I'm leaving. I'll go and live anywhere.
Yeah.
I'll go and live in China, Russia, Ukraine. Don't care. Anywhere. Not here. Yeah. All right, so that's our election wrap for the week.
Yep.
All right. Good on you guys. We'll see you again.
See you.
Bye.